Hey everybody, episode 422. It's about Breaking Bad in the Old West and a subscriber request that I'm finally doing a video on. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home. As I said in the intro, and yeah, it was a bad pun with the Breaking Bad intro. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Anyhow, Mike Schultz, he's been asking me for a long time to do this video, and I've been lazy. So Mike, to you, I apologize. Mike is a subscriber and a member of the TSC. Oh, and speaking of the TSC, before we go any further, right over here, www.theshavingcadre.com. Please come and visit us. We do feel we are the best gentlemanly forum on the interwebs, with all kinds of fun stuff to deal with. And as they mentioned in the Zoom call last night, yes, hit the poll. I would say stroke the poll, but that wouldn't be politically correct. But yes, the barber pole with the cowboy hat, that is my subscribe button. So please click on that. We'd like you to subscribe. Also, comment, tell your friends, tell the president, get a satellite, do all that kind of good stuff. And then also smash the bell to receive notifications anytime you get new stuff. And today, Nurse Dave's a little slacking. Today, the shave is brought to you by Nurse Dave's very tiny shaving device pick. It's blue, just like the blue poker chip, and it's the bluest poker chip in San Francisco. So anyhow, so what are we doing today? Well, we're going back to the Old West for a little while, and then also the focus is going to be on this bad boy. That's right. Now, you recognize the brush. This was a brush that I had made by Grey Dog, and it's Cholla cactus and black walnut. The Cholla cactus is obviously from my property, and so he was able to stabilize it and stuff like that. The original brush was a super high density Maggard's Badger. I didn't like it so much because it was so big. So I have a bunch of other AMAC brushes that Eric Sorrentino had made for me, but I kept hearing, and this is a while ago, of the G5C knot. Now this is a G5C in 28 millimeters. It's the closest thing to a Badger knot that I've found in synthetic, except it has all the goodness of a synthetic brush, meaning it's not a lather hog. It holds lather, but it's also very soft. And believe it or not, that's a synthetic that's wet. So we're going to review that as well. As far as the implementation of the shave today, we're going to be using a razor that I got from Tombstone, Arizona, believe it or not. And it is a Joseph Elliott Best Silver Steel, and it was reworked for me by UA Cowboy on the forum. It's about a 3/8 to a 4/8, and it does harken back to the 1870s, 1860s rather, the 1880s. So it was in Tombstone when all kinds of fun stuff was happening. So the cool thing about straight razors is you never know who shaved with this. So did a barber have this and shave somebody we all know? Who knows? So that's the cool thing about the history. So sticking with that theme, everybody's favorite. We haven't seen as much of it lately. I think it's kind of slipped off the radar a little bit. But that's right. Chisel Face Grumatorium. And it is Ghost Town Barber. See, like that ghosting effect that I have? I'm trying something new. Ghost Town Barber. And we're going to be doing that in the aftershave. There we go. Aftershave and the EDT as well. And I think that's about it. So let's get started. So the G5C knot, and I did not preload this, obviously. The G5C knot comes in, I believe, 24, 26, and 28 millimeter. I may be wrong. It may be just 24 and 28 millimeter. But the 28 millimeter was perfect for this brush when I switched it out. And it loads super, super easy. And as I said, it does not hog the lather too much. It's got great flow through. And so, Mike, if you're considering this knot, definitely get it, depending on the size. If I had to do it over again in another brush, I'd probably do the 24 millimeter. But however, I do need to say that one of my favorite brushes is the Sinbad, which is also an AMAC knot. Love this brush. And like I said, I was introduced to AMAC with Eric quite some time ago, and I've got, wow, quite a few AMAC knots. So I don't know how many seconds that is, but there's your load. And as I said, the one thing that I do differently as far as a synthetic knot is I load the water a little bit differently, where with most badger knots, I will take some water and dribble it off my fingers into the brush, because they do have a tendency to hold water a little bit better. Is I actually dip the tips of the brush in the water. With the 28 millimeter, and it's super soft. It feels very close to a badger. These are hairs that are sourced from Japan, and it's a little bit stiffer. So I know for years and years and years, most people worried about synthetics because they were super floppy. Perfect example, even though it's a great brush, is the Fine C20 with the angel hair synthetic. Great brush, feels great on the skin, but super, super floppy. And that's okay depending on what you're using. So as I said, what I'll do is I'll just wet the tips a little bit and reincorporate the water. And as I said, this is not a real big lather hog, but it just feels super smooth, super soft. And the 28 millimeter, this is the G5C knots are all fan, I believe. And this one splays hugely. So like I said, for a 28 millimeter, it's a big knot. But as you can see, it really, really, really just explodes the lather. And I've got enough for a ton of passes here. You don't hear much about chiseled faced that much anymore. I don't know. I'm almost positive he's still in manufacturing. He moved from California. I know that quite a while ago. But you don't hear as much about him as you used to. But it's still a wonderful soap. Okay, the razor has been taken against the convex strop for 30, and then of course leather for 60. As are most of the 4/8, 3/8 razors. They're little Spitfires. And they are fun to shave with. However, angle is very critical, in my opinion. But if you notice, I shave the left side of my face, which I guess would be on your right, a little bit differently as far as my first pass. And that's because of this bugger right here. That mole I have shaved off more times than I care to admit. The one thing about this Joseph Elliott, not only the age, but it's what they call the best silver steel. But it is super soft. It almost feels like a wedge on the skin. Because as you notice, it's very quiet. It's a very quiet razor, and it acts very much like a wedge, but just super soft, and it hones real easy. In fact, you can over hone this thing where it starts losing steel really fast. I noticed that the first time I put it on the Coticule, that when I did the initial bevel set, and I was creating, I know, bad word, burr, the swarf was black. I mean, dark black. And it took, doing the Dillicott method, it probably took at least 10 dilutions, if not more, to get it to where it was not a dark colored swarf. But it maintains its edge really well. Like I said, I'm slowly converting this one as well over to convex, because I like it better. And you know, shave with what you like, but I've been converted definitely to convex type edges. And the thing I love about this razor, as opposed to any other, is it was absolutely it was my first straight razor ever. And to have something like this as your first razor just gives it some real meaning, especially with the fact of how old it is and the fact that it's from Tombstone. Because the estate sale that I got it from was a long time Tombstone resident. Their family had been in the Tombstone area since the early 1800s. And I do know, based on the family, that it did end up in a barber shop in Tombstone. So who knows? So anyhow, back to Mike's request on the G5 knot. It does feel different than any other synthetic, I will say that. As I said in the beginning, it feels very close to a Badger, extremely close to a Badger knot, but with all the softness and convenience of a synthetic. If you're used to synthetics that really super quick release lather, this one is going to be a little bit different for you. It more approximates a Badger knot, so it will hold the lather. It won't hog it, but you may, in your third pass, may need to add just a little bit more water just to smooth it out. But you're not going to have to ever worry about this thing being so much of a lather hog that you're not going to have to worry about it, nor will you ever have to reload any soap. I mean, I'll squeeze it, but just I haven't even squeezed the lather yet, because I'll wait to do that for my cleanup shave, but I'll show you my cleanup pass. Also, yesterday, I want to congratulate Bruce, Graybeard 57, over on the Cadre for a incredible stunt shave. It was his first open blade shave, and it was done basically with an old hunting knife. And he did a great job. There is a video of it over on the Cadre in the member video section, but it was impressive. There was a lot of cringing going on while he was shaving. He said it wasn't quite as sharp as he had hoped, but he still got a good shave and there was no injury. Just a tremendous shave. This razor constantly delivers just wonderful shaves. Just a little bit of cleanup. But to Mike, just to give you an idea, Mike, so that's 3 passes plus cleanup. And just to give you an idea how much lather, and that's not even all of it. So for a synthetic knot, this thing is phenomenal. I mean, you could shave 3 more people with that. Perfect. So again, to recap, Joseph Elliott, best silver steel from the 1800s, and this is in zebra wood. Put on a little bit of alum and then we'll talk about everything else. We're going to probably do a video next week or the week after on the usage of alum. I just recently came back to it. Some people use it, some people don't, but we'll talk the technical aspects from a barbering standpoint. Why it's a good idea to use it. For all its properties that it does have. And for the brush, we'll go ahead and clean the brush out, show you what the brush looks like when it's completely cleaned out. And when it's totally saturated, this gives you an idea. But she dries real easy. Does add, like I said, acts just like a badger for the most part. But so there is the AMAC G5C synthetic. Just a wonderful, wonderful brush. So Mike, I hope that helps. And as I said, I apologize for not doing that video earlier. I know you've been asking for it. We'll leave the face a little bit damp as we use Quinn's Pink Grapefruit. I don't know if I'll use this cinematic mode again, but grapefruit and orange rind. Let that dry down just a bit. So I hope everybody's having a nice Monday. This is my Saturday. But it's also what we like to call Barber Errand Day all over the city today. Wonderful DSBBS shave. And we'll be using, if it focuses, there it is, Ghost Town Barber as far as the aftershave. You know, when this first came out, I wasn't a huge fan of it because I felt that it was too sweet. To me, it didn't represent the desert Southwest, but it's grown on me. I mean, it dries down really nice. It is still a little bit sweeter than Hombre's Barbershop scent. That one is more traditional Western and so forth. This does have menthol in it, so it does cool the face, which is nice. We'll be using Clubman talc today. You know, and a lot of somebody had asked me, should the talc be used in the cooler months? And it's like, of course. You know, it, like I said, it just finishes the shave. It really, really does. Okay, and for the EDT, actually, this is an Eau de Parfum, I think. Ghost Town Barber. And I'm running very low on this, apparently. Okay, then, folks, that's it. We certainly appreciate you joining us for Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home. And once again, Mike, G5C knot as requested, and I hope you enjoyed seeing it. If there was some fuzziness in this video, I apologize. I tried cinematic mode just to see what would happen. Anyhow, thank you for joining us at Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home for another shave. We will see you again soon, probably tomorrow. Hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you each and every day. Have a great day.